50 years, kind of, there's the middle part of the 20th century, and the part that I was really living closely to in my father's and my mother's life. He was an important figure. He was, all sorts of credentials. He published more than 20 books. Won the Pulitzer Prize. He won the Bollingen Prize. He won the National Book Award. He was Poet Laureate of the United States under Eisenhower and Kennedy. He was Poet Laureate of New Hampshire for about 8 or 10 years or so. He had all of the kind of credentials. He had many honorary degrees and things of that sort. That was just sort of happening in the background as I was growing up. Dad would just go off and get another honorary degree, or he'd disappear for 3 weeks and come back and have another book manuscript, and that would be published, and you get some prize for that. Or, so all of these things were going on in the background, and I was impressed. Not so much because of the notoriety or the renown of the people who came to our house, or of my father, because I knew the other side of my father. He was a man like any other man, and he's a wonderful father and all of that. But he had his weaknesses, just as I have my weaknesses. I have 4 children, and I've got plenty of weaknesses, and you can talk to them and find out what they really are. Or you can talk to my wife and find out what they really are. Dad had the thing that impressed me, that was his voice. And this is the last thing I want to say. From the time I was very small, if I heard him reading his poems in our living room or from some stage or other, he was always going off and doing readings to groups. This sounds maybe a little overblown, but it really felt to me, as his child, as a young man, it felt that he was, first of all, singing these poems. He wasn't reading them, he was singing them. And that the words that he was singing had been there in the atmosphere. The same words in the same order with the same intonations had been there from the very beginning of time. That those words in that order had been there from the very beginning of time. And this was my dad. That was impressive to me.